What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another quick video. I'm going to do a video hopefully later today on the Hungarian bootleg Farm Boy Luke Skywalker that I got back from Collector Archive Services. And so this will serve, my Luke collection will serve as a backdrop for you. But before I do this, I'm going to do that in a separate video, okay? But so this is a nice little pretty backdrop for you guys to look at my Luke collection. But I wanted to talk just briefly about the video that I put up yesterday. I put up and took down a video about the Shill. There was a Shill bidding controversy that broke out on eBay, and it was exposed on Facebook by an anonymous tipster. The guys were banned from a bunch of different groups. It's been a really big story within Jabba's Court, which is a Facebook group based in the UK. The sellers are based in the UK that got banned. And anyway, shill bidding, for those that missed the video before I took it down, shill bidding is where they basically have other accounts bidding on their items to drive up the price and hopefully make unsuspecting buyers overpay for items. And they were caught, and you know, it's a really, really ugly controversy where it's involving thousands of dollars in figures. I mean, multiple thousands of dollars just on Sunday. So really beautiful figures, but anyway, they were exposed, and I made a video on it, and then I linked also some of the items that they sold on Sunday in this shill bidding controversy that appeared to me anyway to have artificially high grades by UKG, excuse me, and. You know, I reached out to UKG and they responded, and, you know, I don't have a big following, I know that. It's not like I'm some amazing investigative journalist, but I did think it was unfair to link the two of them together. So I took the video down, right or wrong. I received a lot of positive responses from folks, from viewers, and I received a lot of negative responses too, believe me. I had like 180 views on that video in like 2 hours, so... you know, but that was when I took it down. So, and I had, you know, just people messaging me left and right, both positive and negative, and I appreciate the comments on both. But anyway, the reason I wanted to do this video is because the gentleman that exposed the Toy Tony controversy, Jason Joyner, after I took the video down, he actually responded to a lot, and I was pretty vocal about my opinions on these items and that they were artificially high grades within the Facebook group. And Jason Joyner, the gentleman who exposed Toy Tony back in the 1990s, I believe, much bigger controversy involving many, many hundreds of thousands of dollars of carded fake figures. And anyway, he was the gentleman that exposed it all. But he responded, actually, within the Facebook group. And I'm going to read his message because I thought it was interesting. And, you know, I think he wrote this using voice to text, so there's not a lot of punctuation. So I'm going to do my best to paraphrase where I think that there were errors or lack of, you know, ends of sentences. So, you know, it's not exact, but because otherwise it won't make as much sense. But I'm going to just let me read this out. Here's what Jason Joyner, the gentleman who exposed Toy Tony, had to say. He said, I do not have a boat in this race as I don't get stuff graded and I don't sell items. So it's just a collector. So it's just as a collector and someone that's been in the hobby for over 3 decades and being the person that blew the Toy Tony issue. And with these hats on, I'm talking to you. When I exposed Toy Tony, lots of innocent collectors attacked the messenger, being him, as they had all invested a lot of time and money into things that they loved. And as such, they did not want to listen. And it was really hard. It was a really hard time for me to stand my ground. I am a strong-minded person and have even stronger stance on what's right and what is wrong, and as such, I stood my ground and said it as it was. In time, the truth came out, and the world saw what really happened. Luckily, there was 1 or 2 people that stood back and listened to what I had been saying and saw that I have some interesting points, and they got into this and saw what I was saying was indeed true. Jason Smith has to be commended for listening, and in the end, he stood by what I was saying, and in the end, took over to explain the facts so everyone could understand the fraud that was happening in the hobby and help to bring it public. Okay, so that's him talking about Toy Tony, and that, you know, so that's his background. But now he starts talking about the grading inflation that I was really vocal about, and there were others too, but I was very vocal in showing photos. And so here's how he responded. I'm not saying that there is an issue with grading or not here, but as with my first post, there's some issues that have been uncovered, and I feel maybe we need to all take a step back and start to look at the facts, and also get some of the key people in the hobby that get things graded, that care about the condition, to look into this issue. I think the two issues need to be split up. Shill bidding is not nice and underhanded, and should not be respected or allowed. The issues with the independents and the experts that undertake grading is another issue. And this is me talking now. I agree with that. So that's really why I took the video down, is because, lumping in UKG and these artificially, in my mind, artificially high graded figures, it's a separate issue. It really is. So I just didn't feel comfortable leaving that video up by talking about both at the same time, and I shouldn't have done that. So that's why I took the video down. And Jason basically says the same thing here. And just for the record, this post was made after I took it down. So I took it down of my own volition before Jason put this up. But anyway, here I'm going to read what the rest of what he said. Both are very important in our hobby, and I think we should all come together to look into this for the sake of all collectors in the hobby in general. Let me know what you all think. One last thing, the graders do have a responsibility to be independent, as what they say makes a difference financially. I remember how quiet all the grading companies were, because when they had been taking money for grading Toy Tony figures for many years, and then when they turned out to be frauds now, they seem... I'm trying to paraphrase because there's a lot of typos. What they seemed, they didn't have much to say, which did worry me at the time. But as I say, I don't have a boat in this race, as I don't sell anymore. But I'm happy to help as part of a team if there are other members that want to look into this more, as I feel there is some questions that need looking into. I do hope that you're okay with me posting this, and he blah, blah, blah. So, what did he have to say there? So he's like, look, here, I was the one exposed Toy Tony, and I think there's an issue here with UKG grading. And I do too. I really do. They didn't answer. When I reached out to UKG yesterday after I posted that video, I sent them the link to the video. They responded. They said, no, we're independent. We've graded thousands of items, but they didn't respond to my specific questions about whether they have multiple people reviewing figures before it goes final. AFA does that. CAS does that. I don't know if CAS does that. Or excuse me, UKG does that. I don't know if UKG does that. But the other question I had was, is the same grader internally at UKG the one who grades all of the items for these guys that were shill bidding on their own items? So I think it's an important question. The guy who exposed Toy Tony thinks it's an important question, but I didn't think it was right to lump the shill bidding and the UKG grading inflation in my mind. Again, I don't have any proof of any of this. This is all just me talking. But I didn't think it was fair to lump those in the same video, so I took it down. But I'm hopeful that other people with better clout and more clout in this industry will take a look at it, because it concerns me a lot. I'm just be honest with you, I spend thousands of dollars getting stuff graded. And I have never once even considered asking AFA or CAS to give me good grades. That's just something that I wouldn't do. Number one, because I wouldn't feel right. But number two, this is for my personal collection. I'm not a toy dealer. I guess I sold a lot of stuff on eBay, but it's all just personal collection type stuff. These guys that were involved in shill bidding, they are not collectors. They are absolutely toy dealers. They buy and they grade and they resell. They buy them loose, they get them graded, and then they resell them immediately. They're not collectors per se, like us. So anyway, I thought it was important to explain beyond just the message that was in my video about I did a video yesterday unboxing some Lily Lettys, and I did put a message down there pinned to the top explaining that I did take the video down. But I thought it was important to let you know some of the other responses that are out there. I am not alone in this, by the way. There are many collectors who have responded to not only my post, but other posts about these grades and about the close-ups of the photos of these figures that I and other people have posted. And they're like, how are these getting near mint or near mint plus scores? One other side note that I do want to correct myself on, that I was questioning the 90 score on that early Puck Vader that had a huge spot on the back of them. That apparently is a manufacturing thing. So, you know, I take that back. But the PvP, or excuse me, the PvP Lukes, both Hoth and X-Wing pilot. There is a PvP Luke Bespin. There was a POC Leia Bespin. They all got near mint or near mint plus scores, and it's absolutely ridiculous in my mind that they got those scores. And they sold for many, you know, the hundreds, if not thousands of dollars is what they sold for on Sunday in these shill bidding auctions. So, long story short is that's one response from a pretty big heavyweight industry leader when it comes to like exposing fraud, and I thought it was worth sharing that. So anyway, I got to go back to work, but if I get time, I do want to talk about my Luke Hungarian bootleg because people have asked about it. And thanks for listening. Talk to you soon.